Clark Gable's secret son. In 1939, King of Hollywood, Clark Gable was at the height of his fame, starring in Gone with the Wind and charming fans worldwide. What no one knew was that he'd fathered a son, John Clark Gable, with actress Loretta Young. When Young discovered she was pregnant, studio bosses forced her into a secret marriage, then whisked her away to have the baby in hiding. Gable never publicly acknowledged his firstborn. John grew up believing Gable was his godfather. Only decades later did DNA testing confirm the truth, transforming John from Hollywood curiosity into a living link to cinema royalty. Joan Crawford's dark childhood. Behind Joan Crawford's polished screen persona lay a harrowing upbringing. Crawford claimed her brother Christopher had died in a tragic fall, but on set, rumors whispered that Joan caused the accident in a jealous rage. Family records revealed Christopher lived on, but was institutionalized by their mother in an asylum where he eventually died. Crawford's insistence on erasing him from family photos masked a childhood trauma that fueled her relentless drive for stardom. Michael Jackson's hidden siblings. The Jackson 5 phenomenon centered on Michael, but the superstar was actually the third of 10 children raised under strict discipline by parents Joe and Catherine. Michael's frail health and extraordinary talent kept him in the spotlight, while older siblings lived in his shadow. Catherine confided to family that she had lost 2 babies before Michael, but never mentioned them publicly. These secret siblings, long forgotten, remind us that Jackson's rise to fame was built on both visible and invisible bloodlines. Elizabeth Taylor's secret marriage. Before Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor quietly married her childhood friend Conrad, Nicky Hilton Jr. in 1950, at age 18. They divorced within a year, and Hilton paid for her silence with a substantial settlement. Taylor's studio image as America's sweetheart demanded no whispers of divorce, so their marriage vanished from press archives until Taylor herself confirmed it in her 1987 autobiography. Errol Flynn's paternity lawsuit. Swashbuckling Errol Flynn epitomized on-screen charisma, but off-screen he faced turmoil. Actress Beverly Ardland sued Flynn's estate in 1986, claiming she was his secret daughter. Birth records uncovered a child born in 1949 named Dada, but Flynn's family denied paternity fiercely. A retired nurse eventually surfaced with notebooks proving Flynn visited Beverly's mother in secret, leaving behind evidence that Flynn fathered at least 2 illegitimate children. Marilyn Monroe's secret sister. Before Norma Jean became Marilyn Monroe, she had an older half-sister, Bernice Baker Miracle, born to their mother Gladys in a mental institution. Bernice was raised by Gladys's relatives and never knew about Marilyn until after her rise to fame. Their reunion in 1958, orchestrated by Monroe's publicist, was so tightly controlled that paparazzi photos show them meeting at a soundstage rather than a personal setting. Bernice kept the secret until Monroe's death, preserving her dignity in a world obsessed with Monroe's every move. Humphrey Bogart's hidden first marriage. Long before Lauren Bacall, Humphrey Bogart married actress Helen Menken in 1926. Their union ended in 1927, but Bogart erased Menken from his memoirs and film publicity. Menken sued for alimony, revealing Bogart's monthly studio salary and forcing Warner Bros. Into damage control. Bogart's brand as the rugged lone wolf depended on a bachelor mystique, so this early marriage vanished from press accounts until biographers unearthed divorce records in the 1970s. Audrey Hepburn's unclaimed nephew. Audrey Hepburn's humanitarian image shone in her later years, but few knew she had a nephew, Sean Hepburn Furrer. When Audrey married actor Mel Furrer in 1954, she negotiated an agreement with her estranged father that Sean would never appear in her publicity. Sean spent his early life hidden from the media, only re-emerging in 1991 to publish Audrey Hepburn, An Elegant Spirit. His revelation added a poignant layer to Audrey's story, showing that even icons shielded their own blood from the spotlight. Charlie Chaplin's paternity scandals. Charlie Chaplin's artful tramp persona belied a turbulent family life. While still married to Lita Gray, Chaplin fathered a child with actress Joan Barry. When Gray sued for divorce, Barry testified under oath that Chaplin was her child's father, prompting blood tests Chaplin funded. Although results showed she lied, Chaplin's reputation suffered, and he paid large sums in legal defense and child support. The scandal never fully left him, resurfacing in tabloids decades later and darkening Chaplin's twilight years. Cary Grant's forgotten son. Cary Grant's dapper charm in North by Northwest captivated audiences, but his personal life held a deep secret. Shortly before rising to stardom, Grant, born Archibald Leach, fathered a son, Peter Grant, out of wedlock in England. Peter was adopted and never knew his famous father until the 1970s, when a reporter tracked him down. Grant acknowledged Peter, but insisted on no public disclosure. Peter's quiet life as a documentary filmmaker contrasts with his father's larger-than-life image, highlighting the sacrifices Grant made to protect his career. James Dean's unknown brother. James Dean is remembered as a lone, tortured rebel, but few know he had a half-brother, Marcus Winslow Jr., whom he lived with after his mother's death. Marcus remained largely silent about James's fame, living a quiet life on the family farm. Rumors persist that James financially supported his brother in secret, and private letters discovered in 2005 confirmed the emotional bond they shared. A connection Dean chose to hide from the world to maintain his mythic, solitary image. Ingrid Bergman's secret affair and child. Ingrid Bergman, the luminous star of Casablanca, shocked the world when she fell in love with Italian director Roberto Rossellini. What wasn't revealed then was that they had a daughter, Isabella Rossellini, born while Ingrid was still married. The scandal destroyed her reputation in America, prompting condemnation from Congress. Bergman was branded un-American, forcing her into exile. Only years later did the public forgive her, embracing Isabella as a new Hollywood royalty. Frank Sinatra's mafia-connected cousin. Frank Sinatra's ties to organized crime have long been whispered about, but even more secret was his cousin Salvatore Sal Sinatra, a known associate of the Gambino crime family. FBI files declassified in 2002 revealed that Sal had been under surveillance for 15 years, and that Frank pulled strings to keep him out of prison. These revelations added weight to theories that Sinatra's career was not only about talent, but about power, fear, and family loyalty. Grace Kelly's abandoned child. Long before becoming Princess of Monaco, Grace Kelly reportedly had a child with French actor Jean-Pierre Ormont. The child was secretly adopted by a family in Belgium. This rumor swirled for decades and was seemingly confirmed when a Belgian woman came forward in the early 2000s, presenting documents and photographs suggesting royal lineage. Though never officially recognized, this shadow over Kelly's pristine image is one of Hollywood's most whispered secrets. Bette Davis's estranged daughter. Bette Davis was known for her sharp tongue and commanding screen presence, but behind the scenes, she had a troubled relationship with her daughter, B.D. Hyman. In 1985, Hyman released a scathing tell-all memoir accusing Davis of emotional abuse and manipulation. The two never reconciled. Davis's polished public persona as a trailblazing woman was deeply contrasted by the personal pain she carried and the silence she kept about the rift with her only child. Gene Kelly's illegitimate daughter. Known for his charm and grace in Singin' in the Rain, Gene Kelly fathered a daughter, Kerry, with a backup dancer during the 1950s. Studio contracts and moral clauses led Kelly to keep the child hidden, providing anonymous financial support. Kerry grew up without knowing her father's identity until she was 18, when she discovered birth records. A quiet reunion followed, but Gene never spoke publicly of her, preferring to preserve his squeaky clean image. Judy Garland's hidden mental health battles. Judy Garland's public breakdowns were attributed to overwork and addiction, but family accounts later revealed that she suffered from undiagnosed bipolar disorder. Her daughter Lorna Luft described secret hospitalizations, suicide attempts, and violent mood swings that MGM covered up for decades. Garland's mental illness was treated as a liability in a time when studios demanded perfection, so her real pain was masked by pills, performances, and propaganda. Steve McQueen's abandoned first wife, known as the King of Cool. Steve McQueen was married to Neil Adams before becoming a household name. They had 2 children, but McQueen's fame and ego drove them apart. What fans didn't know was that Neil suffered a miscarriage during their marriage, which McQueen blamed her for. He refused to speak publicly of it, and Neil only revealed it years after his death. It cast a different light on McQueen's rough-edged persona, one of avoidance and emotional coldness. Lucille Ball's Nazi spy accusation cover-up. During WW2, rumors emerged that Daisy Arnaz's family had ties to Axis nations through sugar operations in Cuba. More shocking was that Lucille Ball herself had been questioned by the FBI for attending meetings linked to the Communist Party. Declassified documents revealed that Ball had registered as a communist voter in 1936 to please a relative, but her team scrubbed this from her public history. These revelations only surfaced decades later, revealing how even America's comedy queen had secrets worth burying. Marlon Brando's hidden daughter in Tahiti. During the filming of Mutiny on the Bounty, Brando had multiple affairs, one of which resulted in a daughter, Mamiti Brando, whom he left behind in Tahiti. Brando's will made no mention of her. It wasn't until 2011 that Mamiti came forward, showing correspondence with Brando and photographs of them together. Her story added a tragic footnote to Brando's legacy as a troubled genius who often abandoned those closest to him. Walt Disney's secret foster brother. Walt Disney's carefully curated image excluded a major chapter, his foster brother, Raymond Arnold. Raymond was taken in by the Disney family before Walt's birth, but later disowned due to criminal activity. He spent much of his life in and out of prison and died in obscurity. Disney biographers discovered this lost sibling while tracing the family tree. Walt reportedly paid hush money to prevent the connection from being publicized, reinforcing how far he would go to protect the pure image of his brand. Each of these secrets tells us something deeper about the nature of fame. These stars weren't just actors, they were carefully managed myths. Their lives were edited, curated, and revised to fit studio narratives, leaving behind a trail of forgotten people, untold stories, and human contradictions. Hollywood's golden age may have glittered, but behind the curtain, it was a world of silence, sacrifice, and secrecy. As we pull back the velvet curtain and reveal what truly happened behind the silver screen, we're left with one truth. The biggest dramas in Hollywood didn't happen on screen. They happened at home. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more hidden Hollywood stories. Your favorite legends have more to hide than you ever imagined.